Welcome to another edition of EasyTalk, real talk for true entrepreneurs. It's January, so why not have a special guest on the show to help us entrepreneurs stay healthy all year long? Today, you're going to get tips on your heart health, how to stay healthy, what to eat, and make sure that you are able to run your business the way you need to. Today, let's welcome Dr. Jayna Kelly. Welcome, Jayna.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, we're so happy to have you. So we have an expert in the house to tell us about our heart and our heart health, so I can't wait to dive into the show. First, let me give our audience just a little bit more information about you.
Okay.
Dr. Jayna Kelly is a scientist at heart. Jayna knew that she wanted to be in medicine from 5th grade. If she had an idea during playtime as a child, sparks would fly when she came to testing a theory or confirming that idea. Confronting challenges in combination with her determination and drive were really tested through her love of sports and specifically basketball. These are key ingredients in pursuing a medical career. Additionally, when Jayna was 10 years old, her mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, which solidified her desire to become a physician and heal and help others avoid illnesses. Jayna was able to observe medicine at its finest with compassionate, competent, and empathetic physicians who tackled her mother's disease. Today, her mother, Edith Kelly Green, is a 30-year breast cancer survivor and her daughter's biggest fan. Also, when Jayna had committed to medicine and was accepted to medical school at the University of Tennessee, she learned that her father also wanted to be a physician, specifically a pediatrician, but put his dreams aside for the career that he thought was more attainable. These experiences really solidified her commitment to serving others through the medical field. Dr. Jayna Kelly completed her medical training in June 2023 with her Interventional Cardiologist year at the University of Vermont in Burlington. She moved to Vermont after 3 years of cardiology training at the Ochsner Network in New Orleans, Louisiana, 2 of which were during the COVID pandemic. Wow, what a terrible time that had to be. She's a partner in the Metropolitan Cardiovascular Institute right here in Memphis, Tennessee. Again, let's welcome Dr. Jayna Kelly. Wow.
It's great to be here.
So you have always wanted to be in medicine, so there's so much you can tell us about.
Well, from the most part, if you hear my mom tell it, I started out as a monster truck driver. That was what I originally wanted to do. And then transitioned in with the science into wanting to be an astronaut. So I went to space camp a few times, but then the health scare, as you read, got me focused, I guess, a little more down to earth. No pun intended.
And your mom is one of the most amazing women I know. I have looked up to her for years.
Yeah.
She is phenomenal.
Yeah, so. I'm taller than her, but I still look up to her on a regular basis. So she's given me some large shoes to fill, and I'm blessed to be able to have that challenge. So yeah.
So tell us a fun fact about you that we may not know.
I can probably wear a different pair of sneakers for at least 2 months without repeating.
Okay, so that's at least 60 pairs.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So you're what they call a sneakerhead?
I am officially a sneakerhead. It started with the Jordan 4s, which is the first pair my parents got me, and I had the original pair, which, God, I was telling my age. But sneakers have always been a part of my journey and my bond with my brother and sports.
Wow.
So that's kind of how they've come into light. And then especially
that makes sense because you have a brother and that's something you all share in common.
Yeah. And then, of course, with Jordans, I mean, the things that Jordan has attained, every kid is looking at that and back in the day as a goal, like, man, if he could do that, like, I can certainly get out here and do some great things in the world. So.
Did that inspire you to become a basketball player, or did you love basketball before Jordan?
I loved basketball before Jordan, but seeing him and what he did made you feel like you could do anything you wanted to do too in the sport, especially in the sport, but in life in general.
Yeah. So in your bio, we read that you are now at Metropolitan Cardiovascular Institute here in Memphis on Noncana.
Yes.
Okay, so how did that come about?
So my partner, Dr. Dwight Dishman, reached out to me and my mom about investing and becoming partners in it. And, I kind of stumbled into cardiology. I originally started out in general surgery, but God had a different plan for me, essentially. And I left that, took a year off, ended up in internal medicine back at UT for a residency. And upon completing that, I knew I didn't want to do internal medicine, but I had always been fascinated and always been drawn to the cardiovascular system because it just, for some reason, always made sense to me and has always clicked. And the heart is a very humbling organ at that too. So, but at any rate, we ended up, he had this idea of wanting to start this practice and was looking for a partner. And it was a great opportunity for me to come home and serve the community that raised me. So can't ask for a better setup.
Yeah, and you know what? Every entrepreneur that has sat in this seat on this show that's from Memphis, that does business in Memphis, their heart is into serving their community. There's got to be something said about the love in Memphis, Tennessee.
It has to be. You don't just come to Memphis on a whim.
Yeah, you don't.
You don't. You know, it takes a lot of grit, takes a lot of grind.
Grit and grind.
That all day, every day. But this is a unique city in the way that we're set up in terms of our culture and our diversity. And being from here, born and raised, and doing my training here and learning how to be a great doctor on the people in this community, the only thing I feel like I can do is come back here and serve it.
Yeah.
And there's a need. There's a huge disparity in healthcare in a lot of urban areas, including Memphis, and being blessed to use these hands to save lives and, you know, make this place a bit better than where I found it. That's the goal.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I think most people want to leave any place that they're at better than, than they found it. Than they found it. I truly believe that. So heart and medicine and serving the people. Tell us about some of the things that we should know as entrepreneurs. As entrepreneurs, what should we do to stay healthy, to keep our business running, and things that we should be doing?
Well, it's funny you bring that up because a lot of people don't realize that your health is going to determine your success.
Your health is going to determine your success.
This is what I tell patients every day, that nobody's going to take better care of you than yourself. And that especially applies to an entrepreneur because you're taking care of your business, but that business is a part of who you are.
And you've got to take care of you to take care of your
business.
Right,
and you can't optimize business without being in optimal shape, optimal health. If you're over here, you know, having to go to the hospital because you're having chest pain or you haven't done your regular checkups and you've got swelling, because you might be heading into heart failure, that's a problem. Who's going to run your business? You got to figure out who's going to come and cover that, because 9 times out of 10, it's supposed to be you.
Yeah, it's supposed to be you. So being a doctor, what happens when the doctor needs a doctor? How do you prevent that?
I hate to spill the secret, but most of us physicians probably make the worst patients. But that's because we are typically in a servant attitude, in the sense that we're more inclined to sacrifice and grind out and do what we need to do for the others and the patients that we care about, in terms of, and then we'll get to ourselves second. But I learned through my training process that doesn't make me the best doctor for my patients. So I've gotten a lot better about making sure I do my preventative care, making sure I stay on top of things. So there's no excuse for me not to be able to be there for my patients when they need me.
So you said a key word, and I know I'm on the edge of my seat, so I'm sure the entrepreneurs are too, because when you say lack of revenue because of something we didn't do and we didn't take care of ourselves, what does preventive health look like? What should we be looking at doing? What's preventive? How can we prevent it?
Well, first and foremost is when you're going into business for yourself, you got to take a sacrifice and spend some money on insurance.
Okay.
You know, a lot of us are like, oh, I don't want to buy that. I want to get something that's tangible. But insurance is part of your investment in yourself and your health and your business. And that's making sure you have something that's going to be in place so that you can go see who you need to see without having to, you know, scrape up some cash or go in your emergency fund if something pops up.
Or not go and ignore it,
or not go at all.
You can't go.
100%. So, and I think that's just taking responsibility of your health in general. If you're running a business, that's a part of your checklist. Am I on my A game, right? If you don't feel well that day, again, you're not going to be on your A game when you've got customers to see and things to do. So part of being on your A game is prepping for your A game.
Okay.
And prepping for your A game involves exercise, getting rest, keeping stress levels down, which is very challenging as an entrepreneur, but you find ways to...
There's a lot of long nights in this thing.
There are, but you find ways to dissipate it, or at least try to figure out how to work through it in a healthy manner. I mean, don't pick up the bad habits of, you know, I got to come home and have like 5 beers every night.
Right.
That's not
gonna
work.
either.
And you spend a lot of money. So that too. again, you know,
double negative.
Right. And people spend money on what they want to spend it on, but I'm encouraging you to invest in yourself. And one of those is, and I'm not here to advertise any insurance companies or anything like that. And they are not perfect by any means, but you're better to have something in place than nothing.
Yeah, I agree. Another key word you said was sleep.
So
is that 6 hours, 8 hours? Has that changed? I know it's 6 to 8, 7.
It's crazy. My mom was like, I don't understand how you sleep in all this time. But when I was a kid, before this was even a thing, sleep debt made sense to me. And it was crazy. But because I was so busy in school, I was active as an athlete. So, you know, I was always going. High energy. And being an extrovert, too, you exert a lot of energy. So your body requires a lot of recovery. But now everybody's on this whole trip of like, oh, we sleep a lot more. And, you know, our parents' generations were the work till you die.
Right.
That doesn't benefit anybody.
Nope. Not
so sleep, you need to be getting at least 7 hours.
At least 7. Okay, that's key.
At least 7. Ideally 8 to 9, especially if you're in a physical.
But 7 is that sweet spot.
I would say the minimal.
At minimum.
The minimal. And that means you're average. So that means there's going to be nights you're getting more. There's probably some nights you may get a little less because life happens. But you need to make sure that your average is 7. And I encourage you to get something where you're actually tracking it. You'll be more committed to it.
You definitely need to track it because just like everything else to be successful, you're going to have to plan it and be intentional. Like, okay, I've got to stop because last night, you know, I didn't get in bed till midnight.
Right.
Tonight, I need to get in bed at least by 10 to average out those 7 hours at minimum.
And when you're running a business, intentionality is
everything.
It's huge. Because nobody's there looking, you know, you don't have anybody to tell you to do anything.
That accountability
100%.
piece is all on you.
So that applies to all aspects of life, including your health, especially your health. You know, everybody is on the whole kick of I want to be healthy, but they want shortcuts.
Yeah, and there are no shortcuts.
There are not any shortcuts.
You've got to eat these things.
You do. You need
Let's
to
talk about
incorporate
these
them.
things. What do we have here, and why do we need these things?
So the things you got here are beautiful. Well, the color is one thing that helps. The more colorful your food is, the more healthy it is for you 9 times out of 10.
Okay, so we need some reds and greens.
We need reds, we need greens. You get your yellow from your peppers and things like that. But the common factor here with all of these is decreasing blood pressure, decreasing inflammation, and lowering cholesterol. And if you combine all those things together, you're overall going to be in a better health state.
So you've got tomatoes, green teas, flax seeds, brown rice, olive oil.
Olive oil, your good fats.
Yeah.
Avocados for your good fats as well.
And the berries.
You got your berries for your antioxidants. These are also good fats here. Your brown rice is good for fiber. And you need fiber because fiber is huge for decreasing your risk for diabetes and lowering your sugar, as well as lowering your bad cholesterol, which is the LDL. And incorporating these things regularly, and even more so just cooking at home. And making your own food.
Because of all the salt,
100%.
which makes your blood pressure high. The seasonings. I think one time I came to see you, my blood pressure was high, and I didn't even know it.
You didn't know.
And the seasonings that I never looked at was causing my blood pressure to rise.
Right, and that's a big part of what my preventative care is. A lot of people have this misconception of cardiology being something that I come and fix something that's broken. Well, my goal is, with me particularly, is to get you to a point where you don't break it. And that's your body or your heart or your arteries and things like that. So it's incorporating, educating. And a lot of people don't realize that salt is one of the worst things you can have for your body. Because we don't have it in moderation. B, we're fighting genetics. B, African Americans in the South, we love good food. Fried food is salt-based. A lot of times when you eat out, everything's going to have salt in it. And what was surprising me is how many people didn't realize that, you know, they're like, oh, I don't use salt. I use pink Himalayan salt. I'm like, it's still salt.
Still salt.
Still salt. Still salt. So
you know, we can justify anything.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like, I don't smoke. I just smoke cigars. Right. No, that's still smoking. These are real conversations I've had in the office, and I'm like,
what's the weirdest thing you've gotten from a patient?
Oh man, as in the comments or?
Yes.
I think the salt one's probably the craziest one. I was like, there's salt in the name. I don't understand how this doesn't click. But there's a lack of education.
Yeah.
Even with, you know, people that are educated professionals that I take care of, they still don't understand their health. And that's just you know, I think that's a multifactorial, especially with the community that I'm focused in, that we're focusing at our practices. You know, we're in Whitehaven, in the area where it's mostly an underserved area, and African American predominantly. And unfortunately, we've been playing catch up in so many aspects of life in this country, to include health. And that's where I'm trying to, you know, push the line up a little forward, you know, with the education and preventative care and understanding your health. Like, for instance, most people don't know their kidneys play a role in their blood pressure. So salt is regulated by your kidneys. So if they get overwhelmed over time, it becomes a dysregulation, and it makes it a lot harder for it to regulate your pressure. And then medicine, they're like, oh, well, I'm just going to take all these medications. Well, the medications can only do so much. This is a synthetic form of treatment.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So the goal is, treat it now. Get yourself in a good habits, good lifestyle. It's not habits. Actually, it should be a lifestyle.
It should be a lifestyle.
It should be a lifestyle. I don't like
going
habits.
to the gym every day is a lifestyle for me.
And you know it's a lifestyle for me. It's
Yeah,
as much mental
yeah.
as much physical. But if your mental health is in a good state, the rest of your body, it usually gets manifested. It's like when your stress hormones are up from working, or you say you had a rough, you know, rough quarter or things like that, and you're struggling
Vendor
with that.
didn't pay.
You're
Counting on that money as an entrepreneur, and your stress levels are
cortisol
going
is up.
high.
That's stress on your cardiovascular system.
So should you go for a run? What should we do?
There's all kinds of things you can do. There's actually been studies that have shown that meditation can reduce your cardiovascular
Simply
risk.
just taking the time to be quiet and
reduce
breathe.
it by 20%. In some cases, breath work, breathing, you know, taking that focus and focusing on your breathing, you automatically reduce some of that stress, because it tones down where your brain is going all over the place or focused on what that stressful moment is. But one of the things that's out here, and I tell my patients all the time, is like, you don't have to spend money on being healthy. You really don't.
Now, I would argue that the healthy food costs more.
But people choose what they want to spend their money on.
That's true.
I see people
That's
out of
true.
town with their J's. No. Me too. But people have the latest car, the latest Jordans,
That's
the
true.
latest,
That's
you know,
true.
they want the Balenciagas or whatever. And they come into me and like, Doc, I don't understand. Like, I can't get better. And I'm not, you know, I want to spend money on Whole Foods. I'm like, again, this is investment in yourself.
Yes.
Just like I said, insurance is not something tangible, but it's something that helps to ensure that you're taking care of yourself.
And if
These
you're going to
foods-
spend your money on something and investing in something, and you're a business owner,
Yeah.
invest in yourself so you can
That's-
continue
that's
to
the
run
first
your
and
business.
foremost. Right.
Put you first.
It's not rocket science.
You
I
owe
don't
it
feel
to
like
you.
what I do is
You
rocket
owe it
science.
to you to put you first.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's what I tell about the food. It's like, yeah, it costs a little bit more, but you don't even have to go to Whole Foods. I mean, if you go to Kroger and take the time and just really pay attention to what you're buying.
Reading those labels.
Reading the labels is
Reading
huge.
the
And that's,
labels.
they actually just recently, the FDA just finally banned one of the food color. I think it was like red dye something or whatever. These are things that should have been banned a long time ago.
And they are in places like Europe.
So, and that's the thing. We're probably the least regulated country in terms of processed foods. And so I always tell my patients, I said, if it has stuff in there that you cannot pronounce,
you shouldn't be eating
or more than 4 or 5, you know, ingredients, you probably don't need to be eating that.
So if you can't pronounce it, and if it has more than 4 or 5 ingredients, entrepreneurs, let's just put it to the side.
Let's
Let's
not
put it
do
to
it.
the side, because we want to build legacy. We want to generate revenue. We want to be healthy, not just for our clients, but even for our employees if we have them.
Yeah. You got to deal with putting on many hats when you're an entrepreneur, and being able to adapt and do all of that requires energy. And the healthier you are, the more energy you're going to have.
Yeah. And I read, if I'm not mistaken, there are things like your gums and making sure that you go to see your dentist and orthodontist, because those things lead to bad heart health and bad health in general as well. And you don't think about how everything is connected.
It's all connected. It's really amazing how connected the body is, and how you can tell when things aren't in sync.
Right. And how they impact other things.
And then you know, you may have something internally, but when it manifests on the physical side or the outside, it may be too late. So, you know, don't ignore that chest pain or that weird tingling feeling or that shortness of breath that seems out of proportion than what you're used to. Or if you've got swelling or some color changes in skin on your legs. Those are all things you need to pay attention to. And you're better off getting checked out and somebody saying it's nothing than you walking around and just winging it, and then it comes to a point, oh, you need an amputation or something.
Right, or you pass out somewhere.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
One of the things that I was researching, just so entrepreneurs know, one of the things that I was researching was I could just come to you to get a heart health check. I mean, it was nothing that was like, oh, you got to see a specialist or you have to have a problem in order to go see the cardiologist. No, you specialize in preventive health just like 100%. You do in healing, and coming to you to know that I'm okay or getting that EKG. Those things are critical for you knowing what to do, how to move forward and staying healthy.
Absolutely.
So I really want the audience to know that you don't have to have a problem before you go see a cardiologist.
Correct. If you got risk, if you just have family history of heart disease, which most African Americans especially.
Exactly, in Shelby County. The numbers are high in Shelby County.
We're one of those high counties. If you just have a history of it, it's worth coming and getting checked. To know where you stand. Don't you want to know where you stand? I do. 100%.
Because I'm walking around with high blood pressure and didn't know it. So
it happens.
It happens. It was
and
like it was a shock to me, but you was like, no, this is common. Here's what you got to do. And then I came back to see you, and I was fixed.
We fixed it. And I wish that happened for everybody, but everybody doesn't listen.
Right. But what if I didn't come and I didn't know? It would have gotten worse and worse.
It could have progressed. You would have had a headache. You could have run the risk of stroke.
It's serious. And people say, oh, well, I don't have time to go to the doctor. I've got so much to do. I've got to do this.
Just like we spend our money on what we want to, we make time for what we want.
We make time for what we want. They're going to make time to go to the restroom.
Yeah.
Nobody's walking around here urinating on
themselves.
Because
hope not.
You make time for what you want to make time for.
You do.
And going to see a doctor, getting a health check is very important.
Absolutely. And that's actually one of the benefits of being an entrepreneur. You kind of get to make your own schedule to a certain extent.
Exactly.
So carve out you need to have your health time. Once a month, you need to have a health day. Take your health day.
You need to have a wellness
do what you got to
day.
do. Yeah. Absolutely.
So I'm wearing this purple. Because I was, again, doing some research so I can have some intelligent conversations with you.
Oh, you
And
anyway.
I was reading about PAD, and that is very common. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So PAD stands for peripheral arterial disease, which is the way that I best describe it is like having a heart attack in your legs or your peripheral vascular. And what that means is that you get the same blockages that you can get in your heart arteries that all supply. You can see a few of them on this awesome diagram here.
Yeah.
But you have arteries that supply blood to your legs, and people can get blockages from having diabetes. They have high cholesterol. Smoking history is one of the bigger issues. And when you block that blood flow, that blocks all the oxygen getting to those tissues. And what can happen is you can end up with wounds. Initially, it usually starts out with people just having pain when they walk. So it's kind of like when you have chest pain, like say somebody has a blockage they don't know about, and they're like, I get chest pain every time I mow the lawn, or, I go to clean the bathroom or whatever. That could mean that they have a blockage there. So you could have the same thing in your legs, say your calves, where you're like walking a few blocks and you're like, oh no, this hurts really bad. I got to sit down and rest. So that's what peripheral arterial disease is, probably one of the lesser known categories of cardiovascular disease. And so my partner and I are big advocates for preventive care and peripheral arterial disease, as well as treatment and management.
And you do that right in your office?
We do. That's the great part about it, is our office offers a lot of imaging and treatment modalities, and to make sure that you don't have to go to the big scary hospital a lot of times and be intimidated or say,
and it's a more personalized experience, because you're my doctor and I trust you, and I'm coming to see you for everything that I need in that area.
Yeah, and that's one of the blessings of doing what I do. I get to, I don't have to send you off to another specialty or another specialist, rather, in a lot of times to take care of you. And it's a matter of, I get to stay there from the beginning to the end. But yeah, we do all of that there. And peripheral arterial disease is like I said, is one of the lesser known aspects of cardiovascular disease, and it affects African Americans tremendously. And one of the dangers of it is people end up with amputations, and once if you get something amputated, your mortality goes up significantly. And that's what we're trying to prevent.
So one of the things that I think I want the audience to take away, I was going to ask this question, but I think we've gotten the answer already. As an entrepreneur, if I wanted to start on this health journey, the first thing I need to do is reduce my salt, or is there something else?
Change 9 times out of 10 is probably your eating habits. And what I would say is, everybody's in the meal prep kick of things. But as an entrepreneur, if you plan ahead and organize, that's going to save you so much time and leave less of an excuse for you to eat junk food or go get, Chick-fil-A because you're running and rolling.
Right.
But if you have your meals planned out, and I can tell you, I'm not a fan of meal prep myself. I've done it, I've burned out on it, and I hate it, but I know the benefits of it. And so when you look at the risk-benefit ratio, it's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Get your iPad, put on a good show in the kitchen, and prep your food up, or at least do a couple of days. But if you know what you're going to eat in advance, that's going to save you from wanting to venture out and eat all the junk food versus grabbing your protein. All right, it's time, it's time for this or whatever. So I get my protein shake. And one of the big things that people also don't realize is protein is huge for you. It's very important to make sure that you're getting your proper protein intake because that helps with the muscle growth and that helps you with being fuller and getting enough fiber as well.
A lot of people think that, I'm vegan and so I'm healthy and I'm doing well. But if you're not getting the amount of protein that you need, it doesn't help that you're vegan.
Right, and you're still missing nutrients. And, I get people all the time and they're like, I switched to, I'm a vegetarian now, Doc. I'm doing good. I said, what do you eat? Oh, I eat a lot of pasta. Blah, blah, blah. Well, you're getting a lot of simple carbs, which converts into sugars, which can still cause you to gain a lot of weight. Yeah. And your diet can cause you is a huge one of the probably more important factors than exercise when it comes to healthy lifestyle and losing weight and overall feeling better. I completely agree
with that because you can work out and like I was talking to Odie Tolbert on the show a couple weeks ago, you can work out but go home and eat bad. That workout is just canceled. It's like canceled.
You just doing stuff to maintain, basically. If you have goals that you want to achieve, then you really got to put the effort in and commit to the diet as much as you commit to the exercise. Like everybody can look cute in some workout clothes and go to the gym, but it's what you do when nobody's looking.
Exactly. That's what counts.
Yeah. That's what really counts. And so for me, they know in my office, they don't even ask me about food. Y'all ordering out lunch, they know, they don't even ask me because they know I'm not eating it. Because, also I want to practice what I preach. I'm committed to health just as I really am. And that's not something that I just say lightly because I know what has happened to a lot of African Americans, especially.
And you see it every day.
And I see it.
You see it
and I don't want that to happen to me, but I also want you to see that, hey, if I can do this, you can do this too. And it doesn't take a lot of money to do it.
Yeah. So entrepreneurs, you heard it here first. We've got to get our act together, guys. It is the top of the year. We've got to plan better. We've got to do that meal prep. I think she gave us a great tip. Turn that iPad on, watch a good movie, prep your food because you're the legacy. You want to be the best you for you so that you can continue to grow your business. And if you're in the Memphis area and you just want to get a good checkup, get your heart checked, get those things ensuring that everything is in motion, come see Dr. Kelly. How can we reach you?
You can reach me at 901-337-1625. And we're open Monday through Friday. I have various clinic days, but hey, we'll work with you.
She'll work with you. And she cares, and she's personable. And she's my cardiologist. And my blood pressure is in control.
No bias.
And I eat all of these things here. So
I do too.
Let's do
Minus
it together.
The nuts, but I do it.
Let's do it together.
Yes.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed this show. Another great show for you guys to get some real tips on how you can live not only a healthier life, but be more successful mentally and physically for your business. This has been Real Talk for True Entrepreneurs, and we'll see you next time.